Hello and welcome to today's Moto News Worldwide video. Sorry for the lack of content over the past week or so. I took a week off from YouTube after a long summer of travel. I was kind of burnt out and just tired in general, so I decided to take a week off from YouTube. I did still post on my website and all that stuff. If you guys want to read articles, that's all available, and I try to keep up to date on that stuff all the time, even if I'm taking a break. YouTube just takes a lot of editing, a lot of effort, so I took a week off. I'm back, though. Should be doing daily content for you guys. I kind of look like I just crawled out of a cave. I haven't shaved in a while. Got to get a haircut, so don't mind that. I'll take care of that sometime here. Anyway, we got some news for you today. In today's news video, we've got some good stories for you. To start off the video, we're going to look at Chase Sexton and his eagerness to race a couple seasons of MXGP, possibly switch there for the remainder of his career. After that, we're going to look at Jett Lawrence's recent comments about his return. He intends on winning all 3 SMX rounds. That's his goal. Then we have an injury update on Nate Thrasher, the star Yamaha rider. He's been out since Hangtown. He will be returning for Super Motocross. We'll look at what he has to say and how he's feeling. And finally, to cap off this video, we've got a couple Motocross of Nations team announcements. Those will be Great Britain and Spain. So let's get right into it. Now, before we get into the news, issue number 10 of the Motocross Network magazine is in production as we speak. I was supposed to have it by now, but there was a delay in production by a couple days, so I should have it soon. To MagPass subscribers and those of you who pre-order the copy, you'll be getting it in the mail soon. As soon as I get it, I'll mail it out that day to you guys. So if you haven't ordered the copy and you want one, head to themxnetwork.com. Link is in the description for that. We also have back issues like this. I think this is we got issue number 8. And a couple issues from last year. If you're interested, those are on sale. Other than that, we're kind of sold out on everything. You guys have kind of bought everything up. So if you want to become a MagPass subscriber, you can do that on there, and you'll get all remaining issues for the year at a discounted rate. Anyway, huge thanks to all of you guys who have ordered copies or become MagPass subscribers. We're trying to revive the Moto magazine industry. It kind of died off, and you guys have been awesome. You've been ordering a lot of copies, so huge thanks to you guys who have ordered the copy, and we hope you enjoy your magazine. All right, first story of the day is kind of a big one. I wasn't really expecting this. Chase Sexton, the AMA Supercross and Pro Motocross Champion, riding for Red Bull KTM, has hinted at a future ambition to compete in the MXGP World Motocross Championship, potentially marking a significant chapter towards the end of his racing career. At just 24 years old, Sexton has already secured KTM's first 450 Pro Motocross title since Ryan Dungey got it about a decade ago. So he's following in the footsteps of Ryan Dungey. His achievements are cementing his status as one of America's top racers of this era. Although his immediate focus might be on securing another 450 Supercross title, and that's kind of what KTM wants him to focus on as well, mirroring his victory with Team Honda HRC back in 2023. Sexton's skills in motocross have notably improved since entering the Premier Class 5 years ago, culminating in 7 rounds of wins and his first outdoor championship this year. It's been an incredible year for him. Now, there was talk about a month ago of Sexton participating in the MXGP of Castilla-La Mancha, I think that's how you say it, in Spain, which would have been strategically timed just before the 2024 Motocross of Nations at Matterley Basin, where he's set to represent Team USA with Aaron Plessinger and Chance Hymas. However, this plan was sidelined due to the Super Motocross World Championship finals. He really wanted to focus on prep for that, so he put that to the side. Despite this, Sexton hasn't closed the door on a full-time shift to MXGP, which would make him the most prominent American to race over there since Ryan Villopoto in 2015. Now, Sexton spoke about this in a KTM postseason media call with KTM Motorsports director Pitt Bearer. I think that's how you say it. Sexton said, quote, "There was talks about possibly racing the last GP, but it's a long season and it's just a lot of racing. If it was this weekend and we just came off outdoors, maybe it's a little bit different story, but coming off SMX, I'll be racing Supercross. Hopping back on outdoors and going straight in MXGP probably wouldn't work. Who knows, maybe if Pitt and Ian would allow me to go and race in MXGP one day, that would be awesome. In the future, I actually wouldn't mind racing a full year of MXGP or 2 years. That's kind of on my bucket list, so we'll see what the bosses say." Pitt Bearer then responded to Sexton in this call. During the conversation, they touched on his aspiration to eventually compete in MXGP, reflecting his long-term career goals. Bearer said to Sexton, quote, "We need you in the U.S. for a little while, my friend. It's no problem, but I think you have some targets in the U.S. Of course, we are maybe the best partner if you want to swap between Europe and America. That's all possible. Let's focus for now on the next Supercross title." I love the idea of Sexton pulling a Villapoto move and heading over there. And by the sounds of it, KTM wouldn't have a problem with that in a couple of years. Obviously, like Pitt mentioned, their priority is Supercross in America right now for KTM. But he left the door open for Sexton possibly going over there in a couple of years, which is awesome. Winning some titles here and then moving to MXGP and giving that a go for a couple of years would be great to see. If Sexton rode over there like he's been riding here as of late, I think he'd be a strong contender and have a high chance of winning a title or two in the Motocross World Championship. I seriously think he'd be a top guy over there. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Would you want to see Sexton go to MXGP, or would you rather see him stay in the United States? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, before we move on, this video is sponsored by Blood Lubricants. Blood is a premium off-road oil and lubricant company. They have everything from chain lube to engine oil. This is their Clutch RX. They also have Blood Bath Wash and Wax. They've got a bunch of stuff. It's all high-quality stuff. All their products are Chris Kiefer tested and approved, so don't take my word for it. If you're going to change your oil, don't chintz out. Get some high-quality American-made oil from Blood Lubricants. I can even save you guys some money. For a limited time, you can save 25% off site-wide on all their products using our code TMN25. So go give them some love. Head to bloodlubricants.com today. All right, on to the next story. Jett Lawrence, the reigning 450 Super Motocross champion, riding for Team Honda HRC, has boldly announced his aim to win as he prepares for the opening playoff round in Charlotte this weekend, marking his comeback after an injury-induced break. Lawrence secured his first Monster Energy Supercross championship earlier in the year, but had to abandon his pro motocross title defense following a thumb injury sustained in a practice crash halfway through the season. Despite having just resumed riding, practicing and testing with minimal prep before the season opening event at ZMAX Dragway, the 21-year-old remains undeterred in his pursuit to retain the SMX title. Jett Lawrence spoke about his goals on SMX Insider, saying, quote, "I always try and set my standards up high. I've been telling my dad and the team that I want to come back and I want to win every single round of SMX. Is that going to happen? If the stars align, maybe. Chase is looking really good, and I could lose a lot. I could lose SMX, but I'm already going to lose SMX if I go there thinking that. So I need to make sure I think confidently. I've been working hard. I feel strong and fit. We just need to get the bike side there again. I'm just so glad to be back on the bike and have a regular schedule again. It's nice to be back on the bike and riding this new 25 Honda. It's been awesome. Hunter's been doing good on it, and I'm going to be doing some testing on it. Hopefully we go into SMX going crazy." The Super Motocross World Championship is set to unfold over 3 consecutive weeks, beginning this weekend in Charlotte, then moving on to Texas Motor Speedway on September 14th, followed by the title showdown at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on the 21st. I think it's fair to say that Jett's goal is very achievable for him. We know how good he is. He's been the clear favorite this year in both Supercross and Motocross, besides getting hurt, obviously. So as long as he's healthy and comfortable on the 2025 Honda, I'm certain he's going to do great. Chase really has a tough battle ahead of him with Jett. All right, before we move on, this video is sponsored by Sweet Life CBD. Now, we're all moto people here, and what comes with our sport is never-ending aches and pains. CBD can be a great solution for this instead of taking prescription medication. Introducing Sweet Life. Sweet Life grows all of their hemp here in the United States, and all their products are THC-free, so you won't get popped on a drug test. All their products are third-party tested for purity, so you know it's all high-quality stuff. They also used to sponsor the Rocky Mountain KTM team and Blake Baggett before they closed their doors, so they have a history in our sport. If you want to get rid of those aches and pains in a more natural way, head to GetSweetLife.com and use our code TMN for 20% off site-wide. Links in the description. All right, on to our next story. Nate Thrasher. He's been out for a while and been kind of silent on social media and in media in general. The Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider finished 11th overall at the second round of the Pro Motocross Championship in Hangtown, despite competing with a broken collarbone. He revealed after that round that he not only broke his collarbone, but also bent the surgical plate from a prior injury. Due to this injury, Thrasher decided to sit out the rest of the Pro Motocross season to ensure he was fully recovered for SMX. His absence from the remaining rounds of Pro Motocross caused his ranking to slip in the 250 standings. However, a victory in the muddy conditions of San Diego Supercross earlier this year was enough to secure him a spot in the playoffs without needing to compete in the LCQ, ultimately finishing 20th in standings, so he kind of cut it close there. It's worth mentioning that Nate Thrasher missed out on last year's SMX playoffs due to a severe crash at Atlanta Supercross, which sidelined him for the rest of the season with injury. Therefore, his participation in this year's SMX will mark his debut in Super Motocross. Thrasher gave an update in a socials post saying, quote, "We've been putting in the work since surgery on and off the bike. I'm excited to go racing this weekend in Charlotte and kick off the SMX playoffs on a high note. Let's go have some fun. See y'all there." I'm pumped to see Nate return to racing. This past couple of years kind of sucked for him. He's just missed so much racing due to injury. As long as he stays off the ground, I'd say he's capable of being a top contender. Hopefully he acclimates to SMX quickly this weekend. I can't wait to see what he's got. I'm a huge fan of Nate Thrasher. So, yeah, good luck, man. Glad to have you back. All right, on to some Motocross of Nations announcements. With just over a month until the eagerly awaited Monster Energy Motocross of Nations at Matterley Basin, team manager Mark Chamberlain, alongside the ACU Motocross Commission, has announced the riders who will represent Great Britain on home soil. Those riders will be Tommy Searle in MXGP, Conrad Mewse in MX Open, and Max Anstie in MX2. Tommy Searle is a veteran in the MXGP class. He will spearhead Team Great Britain's efforts. This will be his 13th time racing for his country at Motocross of Nations, having last competed for the team at Red Bull in 2022. Searle, who debuted at Matterley Basin in 2006, is currently second in the Dirt Store ACU British Motocross Championship, racing in the MX2 class. For the Motocross of Nations, he will transition to the 450 class, riding his Dirt Store Kawasaki. Alongside Searle, the team welcomes Conrad Mewse, so the reigning British MX1 champion and three-time British MX2 champion. Mewse will race in the MX Open class on his Crendon Fast Track True 7 Honda Racing 450. This season, he's been performing exceptionally well, battling closely every weekend with Jeffrey Hurlings, who's been racing the British Championship this year as well. He's trailing him in the championship by just 15 points. So the fact that Mewse can battle with Hurlings is pretty incredible. That shows how fast Mewse really is. Completing the lineup is Max Anstie, set to compete in the MX2 class on his Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha 250. Anstie makes a return to Matterley Basin, where he achieved a historic 1-1 victory in 2017 at the Motocross of Nations. Since signing with the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team, Anstie has regularly secured top 10 positions in motocross nationals here in the U.S., with notable top 5 performances at Spring Creek and Unadilla. Now, on paper, having two British national riders and a AMA 250 class rider, it kind of sounds like they're not going to be that great of a performing team. But if you watch the British Nationals, Searle is incredible, and Conrad Mewse is just exceptional, battling with Hurlings week in and week out. So this is a pretty solid lineup, and I think they'll perform well at their home Motocross of Nations this fall. Honestly, I think a podium is in play if they're consistent. So this is incredible. Great lineup, and I'm pumped to see Anstie go back over to his home race. That's going to be awesome to see. All right, final story of the day, capping off this video, Team Spain. Team Spain is set to be amongst the most formidable contenders at the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. In the 450 or MXGP class, we have Jorge Prado, the reigning MXGP World Champion. He will represent the team in the UK. He'll be joined by Rubén Fernandez, the Honda rider who has returned to racing. He's been injured for a while. He returned to racing at the MXGP of Switzerland, and to round out the team with their MX2 rider, Oriol Oliver. He is a consistent top 10 finisher in the MX2 World Championship. I know a lot of you don't know him. I've talked to him many times. He is an incredible up-and-coming athlete, and he's been doing great this year, so that's a solid lineup. Now, this is the same lineup they had last year in Ernay, France. They finished 7th overall. Their overall finish was kind of held back due to a poor Race 3 performance by Rubén Fernandez, who finished 27th, so they had that finish clipped. Had he not finished that bad in the race and finished around the same where he did in the first race, I believe it was 7th, the team could have easily moved up to the top 5 and possibly podiumed. Had he finished 7th, they would have podiumed. So this is a really solid team. They just need to remain consistent, and they can easily land on the podium at Motocross of Nations this year in Matterley Basin. All right, guys, that's all I have for today's Moto News Worldwide video. Let me know your thoughts on these stories. How do you feel about Sexton potentially heading to MXGP in the future? How about Jett's goal of winning all 3 SMX rounds? Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to go support our advertisers, Blood Lubricants and Sweet Life CBD. Our contracts will be ending with them soon, so if you want to support our work, go support those companies. Also, if you own a company and would like to advertise with us, head to our website, links in the description. Message us on there, and we'll work something out with you. We'd love to work with you. Finally, don't forget to head to our website and snag a copy of our magazine. We have a whole bunch of last year's copies and this year's on there, or you can pre-order the next copy, and we'll ship that out when we get it. The latest issue is on pre-order. So get them while you can. Thank you guys for the support on that, and thanks for watching today's video. I will see you guys in the next one.